David Benavidez, Alexander Gvozdyk just kicked off their final press conference pretty much, right? To the co-main event on Tank Davis versus Frank Martin. Where are we at now? Well, the smoke's all cleared, guys. David Benavidez is made a decision to go ahead and move up to light heavyweight division and campaign up there to become a unified, undisputed champion at some point. He wants to aim at belts. He wants the accolades. He's looking to tag onto his legacy, as 168 was not as friendly to him with Canelo Alvarez sitting there holding the belts, quote unquote, hostage. And I tend to agree with that statement. But needless to say, I've always said, look, man, these fighters have to find their opportunity. They can't just wait on people like Canelo Alvarez who are going to hold them out until they've either lost their have some sort of ring rust, or lost their the prime of their career, the best chapter in their career when they were supposed to do great things, waiting them out to get older or get past their prime, right? And move on. I've said similar things about Jerome Boots Ennis a little bit, and then other fighters as well. We don't need to go down the list of fighters, but listen, if it's not here, you might have to go somewhere else. And David Benavidez and his family and team seem to have co-signed and taking into consideration the same thing. We can't wait on Canelo Alvarez, so why not make a move up to the next weight class at 175, as he's doing now, to attempt to be great and aim at greatness and looking to fight the best, right? Alexander Gvozdyk is in his mid-30s. He's had a little bit of a history. Worked with Teddy Atlas a little bit. I think currently, I don't remember who he's working right now. There's rumors of. I'm not going to go into that. Let me not go into giving any false news or false information. But Gvozdyk, a good condition fighter, only lost against Artur Beterbiev, and it was a pretty competitive fight until he got stopped. So he's a decent fighter. Now, David Benavidez and Alexander Gvozdyk do have sparring history. They've sparred 3 times. Alexander Gvozdyk has gone on record to say that David Benavidez, those weren't good sparring sessions for him. And David Benavidez has gone on record to say he beat the ish out of Alexander. So there's some history there. There's some understanding there. David Benavidez was around the age of 21 around that time, so he's only gotten better, obviously, now. Well past, well in his mid-20s right now. And Alexander Gvozdyk saying that he's in the best shape of his life, understanding more than maybe the average bear on what it takes to beat a David Benavidez, even though he hasn't beaten him, in sparring. But he understands that conditioning is going to be a big factor in this fight. His ability to move and not just stand in front of David Benavidez is going to be a big factor in this fight. His ability to, try to get David Benavidez to get off his plan, which is what he's going to come through with: high volume punching. He's going to come in. He's a decent puncher as well. He's going to be aggressive, and that is going to seep the energy out of you if you're not going to give him something honest back. Give him some honest power. Let's see if Gvozdyk's going to be able to dissuade or convince David Benavidez to put his foot on the brake a little bit, or at least take his foot off the gas on pushing the pace and being aware that he's now in the light heavyweight division. This is a different division than 168-pound division. You would assume that in this division everybody punches a little harder. It seems like when they're standing with each other, David Benavidez doesn't have the size factor as he used to, right? People have complained about David Benavidez being a quote-unquote weight bully in the 168-pound division. Well, at 175, he's no longer a weight bully. He's fighting closer to probably what he walks around. I'm sure he walks around north of 200 pounds. So, fighting down at 168, maybe he was being a bit of a weight bully. We'll find out, right? Everything will be exposed in this fight to find out if he's tried true, if he is the goods. We'll see how David Benavidez carries himself in this fight, and see if Gvozdyk on the other side, like I said, is able to keep his feet moving. Like he said, get his timing down, time David Benavidez, find David Benavidez, and get David Benavidez on his back foot. Let's see how David Benavidez can adjust to the new weight class. I'm excited to see this fight too. There's a co-main event to the Frank Martin Tank Davis card. It makes the card that much more enticing. A must-watch, must-see, must-buy pay-per-view card at this point. This is going to be the third event that the PBC is putting on. So I think it's a great card so far. I am looking towards David Benavidez to be able to pull this out. I believe in David Benavidez at 168. I thought he would have beat Canelo if they would ever gotten to the ring with each other. So I'm expecting him to make myself to be a truth teller as well, right? Don't make me a liar, David. Let's see if he's able to go ahead and translate what he did in 168 into 175 with the same conviction, with the same volume punching style, walking him down, dominating, and not playing with his food. And let's see if Gvozdyk can give David Benavidez the right test that David Benavidez needs to have in order to make a statement, not only to himself and to the boxing space, but also to the 175-pound weight class division, to put the division on notice and let them know that there's a new cowboy, a new sheriff in town. You know what I mean? And there's going to be some straightening going on in that division now that we have the Mexican monster at 175 pounds. Let's see if he's able to translate that. Really just also happy that he made the move up, you know, stay sitting there at that weight class 168. I'm assuming that weight cut wasn't the most pleasurable experience that he could be doing, and to know that you'll never get an opportunity to get at being undisputed, or that you might have to wait well past your prime in order to get into that opportunity that you've already earned. Discouraging, to say the least. So moving forward to 175 pounds, David also made it clear that this is where he plans on staying. He plans on dominating, chasing the belts down in 175 and making his legacy there. Let's see if David can pull that off. You guys let me know what you think. David Benavidez versus Alexander Gvozdyk, co-main eventing. Tank Davis, Frank Martin, we're 2 days away. Both the fighters seem to be in great condition. Alexander Gvozdyk said he's in the best conditions of his life, of his career. This is an opportunity to fight a big fighter, big face of boxing like David Benavidez. And David Benavidez gets to also check some boxes, show the world that he wasn't a weight bully. It's not about the weight. It's the skills that pay the bills. And he's going to get an opportunity to show everybody on Saturday, June 15th. So we'll be all tuning in to see how that goes. Let me know in the comments what you think. Who do you guys got winning this fight and why? Is this David Benavidez's show? Is David Benavidez bit off a little more than he can chew at 175 pounds? Is this a little bit out of his reach? Has he finally gone a little too far with it, or are we expecting the same exact thing that we saw with him in a 168-pound division? Just a dominating force running through the division, and maybe even seeing him go further after he's accomplished what he wants to accomplish at 175. Maybe we might see him at cruiserweight, right? Who knows? You never know. Let me know what you think. Look, shout out to my subscribers. We're building the channel. We're almost there at the 1,000 subscriber mile mark. Once we get there, you know, we're doing that cash giveaway sponsored by Charles Edward Cheese. Salute to Charles Edward Cheese for supporting and contributing to helping this channel get to where I've envisioned it being. If this is your first time tapping into the content, I invite you to go ahead. I invite you to go ahead and subscribe to the channel. All right. Hit your bell icon so you're getting alerts when we drop in this content. Let's see how this weekend turns out. And at this point, we out.